we're going to be playing this game, and it requires us to start at sector A, and then we're going to be throwing a die. The number that is going to be appearing on the top face of the die will determine the moves that we're going to be taking in the clockwise direction, starting from A. So according to the question, for example, if we were to throw a 4 from the die, starting from A, we will move 1, 2, 3, 4, and we will be at E. And we will just keep throwing the die, and we will just continue to move until when we reach F, then the game ends. So here is where the game ends. T is the number of tosses required for the game to end. And the very first thing that we need to do is to find the probability that T is equal to 3. So 3 tosses of the die cause the game to end. And I do find that this is particularly difficult, especially when the initial way of me trying to think about the possible scenarios is not going to be via concepts or formulas. It is really just me doing all the manual work of thinking about the numbers that will be appearing on the die, coming out with 3 tosses such that we are going to be ending at sector F. It took me a while. So this is not an easy question, but if you are willing to patiently sit down and try, these are the 3 combinations of numbers that will be 3 tosses for the game to end. One is 2, 4, 5. So for example, if we were to start at A, then if I were to throw a 2, then you'll be 1, 2. Then a 4, you'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 tosses, the game ends because the pawn ends at F. Another possible combination will be 3, 3, 5. And one more will be 3, 4, 4. So these are not what we can obtain just because we have done some discrete random variables. It requires us patience and quite a bit of manual work and logical thinking. But if you have gotten past this, then the probability of this will be getting a 2, it will be 2 out of 6 scenarios. Getting a 4, it is going to be also 2 out of 6. Getting a 5, it is going to be 1 out of 6. It can be 2, 4, 5 or 4, 2, 5 and so on. So multiplying this by 3 factorial will give me the number of times when I have this 2, 4, 5 in my combination. But then if you think about it, there are 2 scenarios where we will not be actually getting 3 tosses in this. The first one is when we have a 5, 2, 4. Because the moment when we throw a 5, we don't need to throw 2 more times. Because when we throw a 5, for our very first toss, starting from A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the game would have ended. So there's no point for us to throw it again. So we need to eliminate this scenario from this 3 factorial. So we will minus 1. Are you able to think of another one? Another scenario where we don't get to throw the die 3 times? That will be 5, 4, 2, right? The moment we get a 5, the game would have already ended. Starting from A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just 1 toss. So we will have to minus away 1 more from here. The same goes for this. Getting a 3, it is going to be a 1 over 6. 1 over 6. Getting a 5, it is also going to be a 1 over 6. The number of ways that this can happen will be 3 factorial divided by 2 factorial. But we need to eliminate the scenario where 5 happen to be the first number that we get on the die. So we will have to minus 1 from here. Then finally, this, getting a 3, it is going to be 1 over 6. Getting a 4, it is going to be 2 over 6. Another 4 will be 2 over 6. This will be 3 factorial divided by 2 factorial. Calculating for this, you should be able to get what the question requires us to show. It is going to be 5 over 36. This is tough. Next, we are going to try to fill in and complete this probability distribution table. So we will need to find the probability when t is equal to 1, the probability when t is equal to 2, the probability when t is 4 or more. For probability that t is equal to 1, one toss to end the game. We have done it a few times here. So one toss to end the game, we have to get a 5 from the die. So this is going to be 1/6. Two tosses, it will be 2, 3. Getting a 2, it is going to be 2/6. Getting a 3 is going to be 1/6. It can be 2 followed by a 3 or 3 followed by a 2. So multiply by 2 factorial. This will give me a 1/9. As for this, there are many cases, and I'm not ready to come up with the probability by working through all those cases. It was already quite intense here. But what we can do, since this is the last probability that we are looking at, and this is a probability distribution, so the sum of the probabilities should be equal to 1. So to find this, I'll take 1 minus away the rest. This minus 1/9 minus away 5/36. This will give me a 7/12. Okay, now I can build the probability distribution table. For t, this will be probability that t is equal to t. When t is equal to 1, the probability is 1/6. When it is 2, the probability is 1/9. When it is 3, the probability is 5/36. And when it is 4 or more, then the probability is 7/12. This is part A. Part B. Part B requires us to find the expectation of S and the variance of S. S is a score that we are going to be obtaining based on the value of t that we have gotten. So what I'm going to do in order for me to calculate for the expectation and the variance of S is to build for myself another probability distribution table for S. So it will be this, S is equal to S. According to the question, when t is equal to 1, the score S is going to be 5 times of t, so 5 times of 1. So one possible scenario is 5 times 1, it is 5. What is the probability that I will get a score of 5? It is the probability that t is equal to 1, so 1/6. So here will be 1/6. Another score is when t is equal to 2. So according to the question, the score when t is equal to 2 will be 2 times 5. So it will be 10, and the probability is the same as this, so 1/9. Another possible score is going to be when t is equal to 3, so it will be 3 times 5, 15. The score will be 15. The chances, the probability will be 5/36. And when t is 4 or more, according to the question, the score is going to be 0. So 0 is the score, and the probability is 7/12. Based on this, let's try to find the expectation of S. And this is the sum of S multiplied by the probability of S is equal to S. So this will be 5 multiplied by 1/6, 10 multiplied by 1/9, 15 multiplied by 5/36, and 0 multiplied by 7/12. Calculating for this, I'm going to be getting the expectation to be 145/36. In order for me to calculate for the variance of S, I'm going to first calculate for the expectation of S squared. And this is going to be the summation of S squared multiplied by the corresponding probability. So it will be 5 square of 1/6, 10 square of 1/9, 15 square of 5/36, and 0 square of 7/12. This is going to be equal to 1675/36. And now I can find the variance of S, and this is going to be the expectation of S squared minus away the expectation of S squared. So this will be 1675/36 minus away 145/36 squared. So the variance is going to be equal to 39275/1296.